Thank you very much for joining us today. This is our annual Fancy Christmas Hat Show, thanks to John Baldwin, and we're very grateful. He always brings us quite a selection to choose from. But Mr. Claus here and I both have our favorites, and you're looking very distinguished for this holiday season. Ken Bialo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We should have done this at Larchmont trustee board meetings. That would have been fun.
First of all, Marian, that was a totally flat introduction. We are coming to you, dead or alive, from the North Pole in our best Christmas attire. It's not the holiday attire. This is our Christmas attire.
Yes, absolutely.
And you are wearing, I mean, that was
An
designed. That
amazing
was
hat.
designed by Givenchy or somebody exceedingly fancy. And this was
A little
designed.
white fur.
This was designed in Vermont in the 1750s. And I've told you 1,000 times that when I retire, I want to go to Vermont and drive a snowplow. That's what I want to do. And in Vermont, this would be quite fashionable.
And will the red suit look good too in Vermont?
I'm going to wear the same suit.
Oh,
I'm going to wear this
okay.
suit. Suit, tie, Christmas tie.
Okay.
Yes, all right.
And some tall boots.
Some tall boots. Right. So we're coming to you live from the North Pole today.
Oh, it's
All right.
a little chilly up here,
It's
but
a little chilly.
it's great
We
to
have
be
UPS
here.
waiting by to deliver presents, according to the commercial.
So there are a lot of wonderful things that are going on this time of year, and the first thing we'd like to talk about, I know, is Giving Tuesday and LMC-TV. What is it? You have the information on this.
I sort of do.
Well, you
Sort
know
of
more
do.
than I do.
No,
Let's put it that
I
way.
have been advised by those who know
Yes.
that today is Giving Tuesday, which is designed as a counterpoint to Cyber Monday,
Okay.
which is the Monday after the Thanksgiving weekend,
Yes.
as Friday is the Black Friday. And there on the screen, everyone can see, I thought we were doing the picture, but never mind. On the screen, we can see that you can give to LMC-TV for Giving Tuesday. Not for giving, but for Giving Tuesday. You can make a donation. LMC needs donations. We both have supported LMC since the beginning of time, since really the beginning,
1990s.
since the beginning of time. And this is a chance for us to plug the great station. This is, as I say,
Well, that makes, so much local information available so
does.
residents know what's going on.
Plus, imagine this, we haven't been thrown off the air yet. What conceivable excuse is there for that, except that our one viewer has written in and said, I really like this show, keep it on the air. Anyway, we are promoting, and you just saw the graphic, and you can go on your computer to lmctv.org, that's the website, lmctv.org, and you will see what we just had on the screen there a few seconds ago, and you can make a donation. There we are. That's the first page of the website. You can make a donation ipso facto quicko by pushing a couple of buttons and
Latin
specify,
there,
specify how much you would like to give. And everybody at LMC, and including the stars of stage and screen, and the crew that makes the stars of stage and screen look like they do, providing the hats, will be very grateful.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Or you could do it the old-fashioned way. I sent a check.
I sent a check too, on December 30th. December 30th, write out the check.
But anyway, thank you to LMC TV
For
and
all
to
they
all
have
the
done.
people that
Yes.
work here, and especially to Austin, John, Missy, Lisa, and Dina.
And Sunday.
And Sunday, yeah. Sunday's the real star. So another feel-good thing is Furniture Share House had a wonderful event sponsored by the Westchester Business Council.
Yes, the Business Council of Westchester sponsors every year a Dancing with the Rising Stars event, which this year consisted of 4 couples who went to dancing school and came out and danced on the stage at the, what is that called? It's the Arts Center, Performing Arts Center, White Plains.
Okay.
And
you were there.
And we were there, and the proceeds of that event and the week before there was a kickoff cocktail party. The proceeds of those 2 events, such as they are, are headed in the direction of Furniture Share House because this year the Business Council of Westchester has designated Furniture Share House as the charity that they will donate to during the course of the year. And this was the beginning of the events.
Oh, so there'll be more money coming.
More opportunity. It really is a great thing.
What a nice
I have to
thing.
say, the Business Council of Westchester, I've only heard about it from a distance, is really a huge organization here in Westchester County, and it has all kinds of businesses from small to large. And I met the person who's the chief operating officer and the chief executive officer and the chairman of the board. And they all seem to me to be absolutely first-rate people, and it seems like a first-rate group. And this was a first-rate, if not very fun and funny dancing contest.
Well, those rising stars.
But there was a guy there named J.R. Martinez, who is actually a genuine star.
Okay.
A star of, stage and screen, or maybe it's just it's TV and movies, I think. And who won Dancing with the Stars, the real
a
TV
real winner
program.
was
The
there.
real TV.
Wow.
Also an Iraq veteran. And he got a standing ovation from the audience. The audience must have been, I don't know, maybe 400 or 500 people.
Wow.
And he got a standing ovation from the audience for his service and because he was just a great panelist and was just a lot of fun, kind of leading the way. It was great that they got him and he did a great job.
Oh, well, you have to keep us informed about future events.
Future dancing events?
Well, not just dancing, but future.
You know the guys look like this.
Did
Women
they
are
just
dashing.
lift the women way up?
Well, there were a couple of lifts. Women are dashing around the stage, and the guys are frozen, staring into the audience. Very funny.
Oh, dear. Well, then we have another great announcement. On December 5th, Saturday, December 5th, from 3 to 6 p.m. at the Firehouse is the second annual Light Up Larchmont. And that's a tree lighting, a band and a choir, and other things will be happening.
Uh-huh. So this is a Christmas tree being lit in
Yes.
Constitution Park, right next to Village Hall.
Yes.
And the fire department is the volunteer fire department. Well, I guess it's not a real volunteer fire department anymore because they have a paid chief. The fire department is
Right.
sponsoring this.
Right, and
That's great.
they also gather toys for the children at Blythedale.
Don't they also do a coat drive?
Maybe.
They used to do a coat drive.
Well, they're
Be a great idea.
terrific
If you're
guys.
not doing it now, you should begin it immediately, a coat drive.
Oh,
Or a hat drive.
well, not these. We need these.
Oh, okay. Here. I'm just going to switch here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay,
want to go
I'll
to
keep
something
mine
a
on.
little more stylish. Now, what serious subject shall we chat about?
Well, next on the list was a streetscape.
Well, this is appropriate for the streetscape. Okay, be quiet up there. All right.
The
Now,
Larchmont
the
streetscape.
Larchmont streetscape. So, have you noticed that two things?
Streets are closed.
That's a Con Ed, man. They're a
Oh,
mess.
okay.
They are making a mess, and the asphalt plants in the olden days closed down on December 1st, and
Yeah.
if you haven't got asphalt to lay over the pipes that you're digging holes for, you're
Right.
gonna leave those metal plates there for Christmas, for January and February. Think about the snow plows. Think about the slipping
my
and sliding.
gosh.
Yeah. On Larchmont Avenue, in fact, as you come away from the firehouse going down towards the water, there are signs already there saying "raise plow."
Oh, right.
Right?
Yeah.
Those could be for leaves, which haven't been collected since I don't know when. We now have leaves
Oh, well,
on our street. You can't get up and down the street because there are so many leaves.
no, but they're around you. I go out running,
yeah.
and they're around you.
So they cleaned every street except for ours.
They missed your street, you think?
Yeah. There's been no cleaning. We have leaves that are every 5 feet. But that's DPW issue. We are talking
we
about
love
this.
DPW.
We do. We're talking about the streetscape.
Yes.
So have you noticed that they put in those little midget trees that they promised us that will have no shade? There's little teeny like tulip trees
And why are they so small?
because they want them to all look uniform. And here's the problem with big trees is you can't control what they do. They tend to want to do what they want to do. And with these little fellas, You can just reach up and go snip, 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 and change the whole thing.
So this is a control issue.
On the Boston Post Road, where we had all those great old trees that that the board cut down, they cut them down and they replaced them with these little 7-foot nothings. 7 foot, I don't even know they're 7 feet, 6 foot nothings.
Wow.
It's really, really miserable.
Well, you know, we'll get to this later, but we're going to have a lot of time sitting on the Boston Post Road in the future because of traffic.
Yeah.
So we'll have a lot of time to look at the trees.
Something to look forward to?
Yes.
Why would that be?
Well, we'll get to it.
All right, we are going to get to it? Okay.
Okay, Con Edison.
Yeah, we just talked about Con Edison.
Okay.
They're the ones, as far as I can tell, they're the ones ripping up the streets, and they're the ones that are putting in, as probably they should, new pipes for carrying the gas. Remember that explosion on 116th Street?
Oh, that was terrible.
Second Avenue a couple of years, was it 2 years ago maybe? Yeah, well that was, apparently the pipe was, there was leakage in underground, and the pipe, according to the report, and the pipe settled improperly, so instead of having the full support that was there 100 years ago, the earth settled down and the pipe was suspended, and over time it just went. So there was a crack, and that's allegedly what contributed, if not caused, the explosion.
So do they have to change all pipes everywhere?
Be my guess that the Public Service Commission has said to Con Ed, you better get these things replaced. They're 100 years old, you better get them replaced.
Okay. So ours are probably 100 years old.
Or something like that, so that's my guess.
Well, I hope they work fast.
Yeah, exactly
before
right.
something happens.
Starting in October on a project like that seems a little wacky to me, but
Yeah.
you got to have the guts to stand up to them, and if you don't have the guts to stand up to them, they kind of do what they want.
So then, we had some interesting news at the county level in Rob Astorino.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
On the housing.
What did we find out? Report. Can you zoom? Who can zoom that? There we are. Report. No fines for Westchester.
Yes.
So all the partisans who were dancing around when they thought, oh my God, Westchester's going to be fine, it's going to be terrible for Rob Astorino. Here's a surprise. The magistrate who was hearing the matter said the county should not be held in contempt of court, nor should it face fines or other penalties for its actions in the affordable housing settlement, a U.S. magistrate said in a report and recommendation issued on Thursday. This reversed what the court-appointed monitor, remember how many times did we say the monitor doesn't know what he's talking about, has absolutely no clue. No, it's a he.
Oh, okay.
Said this summer that Westchester had violated one of the conditions of settlement and recommended penalties to the court, and included forcing the county to build more than the 750 units and monthly fines that could reach as high as $60,000 a month. That's what the, quote, monitor, who didn't know squat, recommended. And here is the press release from the Republican side and the Democrats. I shouldn't say press release, comments from the Republican side and the Democrat side about what the judge said. The magistrate judge's ruling corrects the false narrative by the federal government that Westchester County has done anything wrong with respect to implementing the housing settlement. Who said that?
Republicans.
Yes, Rob Astorino, county executive. But the head of the County Board of Legislators, who is Michael Kaplowitz, who is a Democrat, said this is a real healthy dose of reasonableness and common sense. God bless you. God bless people who can see the reality, the forest from the trees. So, the point being that the partisans, including some members of the county board, which should be extinguished, but some members of the county board were running around and saying, oh my God, this shows what a terrible county executive he was, blah, 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 awful, awful, awful. You know, the fuss was about Hillary Clinton's town and some 25 units that the county had actually financed, but the locals said no. And the housing monitor said, what? You locals can't say no, I'm holding the county responsible. How does that happen?
The whole county because of Chappaqua.
Yeah, exactly right. So anyway.
Then what about the budget?
It's going no tax increase here. Again, this is his 5th year on the budget. And the consequence of that will be that there will be, the budget plan would cut, if it were enacted, cut 25 jobs, which I have to say doesn't strike me as a terrible event, particularly because, where is it right there? Because in total, since he has taken office, the county staff has been reduced by nearly 1,000 budgeted positions. This is since 2010. And I defy anybody in this room, or for that matter, anybody out there in television land, or one viewer perhaps, to say that you have noticed something different in the activities conducted by or the facilities run by the county.
No, I agree.
1,000 employees. I don't know what the average salary is, but if I don't know. If it was $50,000
Right.
plus 30% benefits or 40% benefits, I don't know, it's what, $80,000 or $90,000 times 1,000 is what? 9 million? Is it 9 million or 90 million? I think it's 9 million. 9 and 3 zeros and then 3 more zeros. Yeah, 9 million. 1,000 jobs in 5 years.
And
Tell me
nothing's-
there's no
Yeah.
fat in the county, right?
So then, now we're getting to sitting on,
Is it time? I think it's time for a break. Thank you. Okay, break's over.
now we get to go back to sitting on the post road looking at the trees because traffic isn't moving anyplace because of all the increased residential projects in Larchmont, Mamaroneck, and Harrison. Increased density. So,
265 units in the village of Mamaroneck.
okay.
Either a building or approved and waiting for construction to start. $18 million development in Harrison. And I don't even think it says how many units. This for empty nesters and
Millennials.
yeah, millennials, right? So here's the deal. Have you come to a traffic light on the Boston Post Road lately on a Saturday afternoon that had fewer than, 10 or 15 cars piled up at the light? Some people waiting to make a left turn.
Yes.
Others trying to get into McDonald's, right? Waiting to make a right turn because the traffic in McDonald's is so deep that there's no room in the parking lot for
Trying
them.
to get into Trader Joe's.
Or trying to get
Yeah.
into Trader Joe's, crossing over the post road
Yeah.
in this direction, even making a right turn from the other direction. So here's a problem. With all of this building, all of which I understand, it satisfies the imperative that local governments have for a larger tax base. The more people who live here, the better off we are. Why is that? Because we, the board, the town board, the village board, will have enough money to go ahead and have 1,000 extra
more.
jobs. Exactly right. We need more.
We can hire the people that were let
Exactly
go.
right. We need more taxable base, and the way we do that is by building. So in Larchmont now we have those buildings next to the railroad tracks.
Right.
Right across the tracks. Guess who has one? The town. And that is a big project. That
that
town
is
project, like
huge.
180 units.
Right.
Right. And on the Larchmont side, I don't know whether there's 45 or 50 units. Is this bothering you, by the way?
Not in the least.
So, I mean, you can only go so far. Now the roads will be even more clogged. So the argument from the other side of the world will be, oh, well, you can just walk. Well, you can't just walk. And nobody moves to the suburbs. They want to walk. You live in Manhattan.
That's a really
Because,
good point.
really, within 2 blocks, you can find absolutely everything you ever needed, including a subway stop.
Right.
But out in the suburbs, people have cars, and they tend to use them. And for those people who like to walk, I think they should walk. And it's wonderful that they should walk. But I think the majority of people drive. And since the majority drive, it seems to me it would be nice if the facilities were upgraded, and the density were not increased but rather reduced. It would be nice for those of us who drive, the majority of people, as opposed to the morally righteous people, like the president. Oh, I know everything and I have all the answers. So the people, I know there are people out there.
This is like bringing refugees in a sense.
Not
it's just
even-
bringing in more people.
Yeah, I'm not talking about refugees. It just increases the number of people, and
Right,
because it
per
increases the
square
number
inch.
of people, it increases the traffic.
Right.
Period. And when do we choke? When does this become Queens officially?
I think we've choked. At
Well,
least
that's-
any Saturday we've choked.
Well, 40 Ocean Avenue is now being proposed. It's a 1 acre, was it 1 acre and a quarter, 1 acre and a half plot is being proposed for 4 houses. They would knock down the building and put up 4 new buildings. On Vanderburg Avenue in Larchmont, there's a property that was, about 3/4 of an acre? And they have gotten approval for.
They did get approval for
4 buildings to replace 1 house. Politicians, hey, wake up. You're just increasing the level of the density, and with it, all of the problems that come, like traffic, like standing on line at the grocery store, like standing on line at the drugstore. Oh, well, Ken, you shouldn't worry about that. Baloney. People didn't move out here to be in Queens. They're not paying whatever they're paying for these houses in Mamaroneck and Larchmont because they want to live in Queens. They want to live here. And you guys, in the imperative, satisfying the imperative for more tax money, just keep building, keep building, keep building. That, by the way, the number for the Village of Mamaroneck includes the development of Hampshire Country Club, on which they're going to put around 105 units. 105 units in a floodplain.
Yeah, how can they do
And
that?
another 160 in the Village of Mamaroneck, elsewhere. There's a whole list of it. It's on the, where is this? Is this the local loop or something?
Yes.
Houlihan, Lawrence, blah, 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 Mamaroneck Development Plans. The loop, yes. It's the loop. Go to the loop.
Dated today,
Show them in color.
It's today, December 1st, the Loop edition.
Go and see what's happening to your
Your
property
Post Road.
values. Your property values.
So we have a few minutes left. Climate.
You know they're in Paris, all these people.
I heard.
I saw the president give a speech today, or I saw it for a little while, in which he's apparently holding himself out as the person who will single-handedly save the world.
Okay.
There was an article in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. There's so much to talk about with climate, the real climate science as opposed to the newspaper climate science, and the climate science in the newspapers was put there by, I want to say, maybe some scientists who think that having the attention of the media is a good thing for them or their career. It certainly makes them feel better, and much more important, there's a whole investment in the idea that, oh my God, the planet's going to hell, and we have to fix it. And who's here to help us fix it? I don't know. Bill Gates shows up. George Soros, by the way, who is an arch left-wing Democrat, right? Has all of his people arguing for climate change. You know what he did about 3 months ago?
What?
He bought coal stocks. It was reported in the Wall Street Journal. What a surprise. Anyway.
Like Gore selling to Al Jazeera.
Listen, I want to get this in there before we go to break.
Yes.
All right. So, 2 degrees Celsius. This is the benchmark. Oh my God, the planet is going to die. Everything's going to fall off the planet into Australia. Many researchers have argued that a rise in the planet's average global air temperature of 2 degrees or more above pre-industrial levels, as if anybody could measure that, would usher in catastrophic climate change. But many others, while convinced the planet is warming, say 2 degrees is a somewhat arbitrary threshold based on tenuous research and therefore impractical spur to policy action. Quote, it emerged from a political agenda, not a scientific analysis, says Mark Maislin, professor of climatology at University College London. It's not a sensible, rational target because the models give you a range of possibilities, not a single answer. Still, many scientists back this 2% goal because they see it as giving policymakers and the media a clear target to shoot at.
Well,
I don't know this guy. I don't know who the author of the article was. I assume he's somebody who's interested in this stuff. And I don't know who Professor Maislin at the University College of London, professor of climatology, is. I don't know any of those things. All I can tell you is the more you read about it, the more it becomes clear that even though the media says, and the political people who are going to save the world, the saviors of the world, for all of us, thank you very much, they all have one view of the world. And the hardcore scientists, as opposed to the I'd like to be in the spotlight scientists, have another view of the world, and they write about it. You don't get exposure to it because the Times doesn't carry it.
Right.
The Post couldn't possibly carry this. The same is true of the Daily News. They don't carry this stuff. The TV can't carry it because the people who are broadcasting on TV, like you and me, can hardly say the word climatology. Climatology, can't say it. So there's no place for a real discussion. I mean, that's the problem.
Right.
There's no place for a real scientific discussion is only pseudoscience and media coverage. And that's a real problem. And you're going to see in whatever comes out of Paris is going to be a bunch of baloney. It just doesn't have any meaning. You can bribe 180 countries to come to this summit by saying to them, we'll give you money if you do what we want.
Well, I understand what it might do is just lead to a big carbon tax on the U.S.
So that we can pay for President Obama's need to give away money to people, other people. He needs to bestow on them all this money, as he's done domestically, which hasn't come to much either, but that's another day. Anyway, be careful that climate change business. That's baloney.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Read. You need to read. If you read, whether it's the Wall Street Journal or some other site that isn't imbued with the religion, you will find out what the issues are, the real issues, and not the sort of, we don't have any issues, everybody agrees. Not everybody agrees by a long shot.
Then we have one more thing we have to do before we take a break. I wanted to announce also on Saturday, December 5th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Mamaroneck Public Library is the 5th Annual Holiday Arts and Crafts Fair, and our own Missy Moak is a part of that.
Yes, she is.
So
she's going to come out here in a minute.
Yes, so we're very proud of the 5th annual event. It sounds like a lot of fun, and for Missy being involved.
Are we going to take a station break now or a commercial break?
Okay, we're taking a break. Well, we're here to, first of all, we have the real talent with us finally before the cameras instead of behind them. And we want to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And
we want to say a very big thank you to all of our crew for coming on to the show and getting in front of the camera with the single most ridiculous collection of hair I've ever seen. And having said that, I just want to remind you that I wore this hat most of the program. So if I'm thinking that's ridiculous, then you're in trouble. You're in trouble. That's not going anywhere. Anyway, we want to say thank you to each and every one of you.
John, Missy, Lisa, and Austin, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for what you do for us.
And you're so loyal, and they come to every show.
And they comment.
Well, that's afterwards. That's afterwards. And we want to say thank you to LMC-TV and the board and the director and all that stuff. And Dina in particular, along with Sunday. Right? Is Sunday coming out here?
No.
All right. Okay.
She has taste.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays.
See you in 2016.
See you in 2016.
Bye
Take care.
Bye-bye.